This time I have a Sony DCRTRV250 digital 8 camera. This one's got a camera problem. Got no picture from the camera. We don't know whether the player works at all either because it was shipped in. I think the guy bought it. The camera didn't work. Sent it to me to check it out. Let's see what's wrong with it. Alright, I got a camera in to take a look at here. This one here says black screen in viewfinder and on the screen. Haven't tested it on Playback. This is going to use one of Sony's proprietary output cables, so I've got my adapter cable here. And we'll plug the power in and just see, first of all, whether this thing does anything on the screen at all. Take the battery out, don't need that. This was shipped with a battery on it, and that's a no-no. They don't like things being shipped with lithium batteries on them. Something about fires. Okay, turn the camera on, and I have a black screen. I can hear sound from the microphone, but I have a black screen. So the camera is not putting out a signal. Let's just see if this thing will play back. Now this is a digital 8 camera, but it's a digital only. There's no analog playback on this particular model. So this is not the camera to buy if you want to playback analog tapes, because it won't do it. There is no analog playback. But this is a digital tape that I've got on here, so hopefully there's going to be a picture. There indeed is. So the camera does play. So we know that the problem on this is going to be a camera problem. Maybe we can get lucky on this one. Just remove the tape, because I don't need to have the tape in it at this point. And we'll go back to camera mode. And you'll see that I get a blank screen and I can see noise. I wonder. Let's see what happens if I put in a night shot. Nothing. I'm going to shine a bright light into the lens and see whether we see anything whatsoever. Any light. Nothing. So first things first, let's remove the power and we'll start ripping the camera apart. If you're wondering where this screwdriver came from, this was a free screwdriver, this one. It's a screwdriver that came in the $25 battery replacement kit for my Samsung S9 phone. They gave me a screwdriver to take the phone apart, and it just so happens that it's the same size as screwdriver that is used to open up cameras, so that was kind of a bonus. So we're going to remove the arrow mark screws and tear into this camera and see what's going on. I don't know whether we're going to be able to fix it. It depends on what the problem is. That's a different colored screw. That's always a concern. Usually they don't put different colored screws in, but maybe they did. One nice thing about this particular design is I use a 240. In fact, I've got two DCRTRV250s. They're both given to me, and one of them had half the transport missing. I was also given a DCRTRV250, which I gutted and took the transport from the 250 and put it into the 240 to make myself a working camera for archiving tapes. And that worked out quite nice. And then I turned around and I gave the 250 away. Should have kept it because it may have come in handy for this one had I known that I was going to get one in that required a repair. But too late, it's gone. I got tired of looking at it just sitting collecting dust, and I took out an ad on Facebook and said, free broken DCRTRV250, transport's broken, camera portion works, and somebody wanted to use it as a webcam because they could stream directly from it. Why anybody would want to stream from a standard definition camera, that is beyond me, but I think sometimes people, when they see things are free, they just take them, whether they're going to use them or not. Oh, it's a free camera, I'll take it. Anyway, it went. I put it up for free and it's gone, so I might end up kicking myself if I needed a part from it to fix this one, because I don't have parts now. But we do what we can do, right? So I'm just going to remove all these arrow mark screws and then pop this unit apart. And hopefully it's something that's going to be relatively minor, because I don't know that the guy that owns this is going to want to spend a lot of money. But that pops off like that, and then this front cover will pop off like that. See, these cameras come apart nice and easy. Okay, got this part apart. I think I can just pop this out. I don't need to have either of those have to be on in order for me to test this. I can power it up. Pretty sure it's on now. And plug my monitor back in. I want to see what happens. I think it'll power up like this. Alright. I'm curious, is the lens stuck? That's what I'm curious. Is the lens stuck, or is it a problem with the image sensor? When I bring my hand near the image sensor, I'll show you what I see on the screen. That I am getting noise. So we know that the amplifier is working. The video amplifier is working. We may have a stuck lens. That's the best case scenario if we've got an iris that's stuck. One thing I can say with certainty is it is not a stuck iris, because if I shine a flashlight down there into the lens, I can see the CCD at the back. And when I turn off the power, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, maybe we'll be able to get lucky to see it. Can you see the CCD back there? Well, when I shut off the camera power, you might be able to see the iris snap shut. So let me shut it off. See if you can see the iris snapping shut. There, you see? And then the lens zoom back. I'll turn it back on. And the iris is open. You can see it. So it's definitely not reading the camera signal. So we may have a problem with we'll try reseating this edge connector. It might be a bad CCD. That's my fear, is that the CCD is bad or something's wrong on the camera board itself. We'll just reseat those. It's got a couple of surface mounted filters on here too, which we all know how great those things are. But I have seen CCDs fail. I had one not too long ago that the CCD imager had gone bad on a camera, and this one might be another one. I know when I bring my hand in here, I see noise, so I know the amplifiers are working. Now what I can do is I can remove the CCD from the back of the lens. Just like that. And now when I turn it on, if the CCD is working, we should see something on the screen other than a black screen. We should see a totally white screen, but we don't. We have a completely black screen. So at this point, I'm likely to say it's the CCD, right? If we look down here, we can actually see through the lens. You can see if I put a light down here, the lens is wide open. If we look down here, you'll see. If we look down there, you can see the bench below, you see? See through the lens is open. So it's not a lens problem. It's going to be either a camera failure or the CCD itself is bad. I guess we can check the condition of those surface mounted caps that are on here. I can't see them being the fault though. It's either going to be a CCD failure on here, or it's going to be something else in the camera, in the timing circuitry that drives it. But there's a CCD. For those of you that like to see what a CCD looks like, that's it. We'll check the ESR on these caps, but I don't think that's going to be our issue. Both of them test okay. They're both within their spec. So, and I wouldn't think that if one of these caps was bad, it would give you a blank screen. You would expect it to be something else other than a blank screen, like noisy picture, right? But we don't have any of that. It's just a complete black screen, though. So therefore, I'm going to say it's not that. We'll put the CCD back in place here because there's nothing wrong, or there's nothing I can do on this. Our fault on this is either going to be a bad CCD, which I've had cameras that have had bad CCDs before, and or something on the circuitry here that controls it. But it's all in one big chip. At this point, I would advise the fellow that owns this, that's if he even wants it shipped back, that something like this should be sold as a playback machine only. It certainly would not be worth repairing the camera. I'll just try reseating these connectors once again just to make sure that there's not one that's come a bit loose. Just to rule it out. Yeah, we have no picture. And again, if I bring my hand near it, I get noise. So we know the amplifier is working. It's either a timing problem that the CCD is not operating, or the CCD itself is shot. I'll check for voltages on the actual board and see if it's getting power. So we'll just check voltages coming off the power supply. 0 on that, 0 on that. 8.6, 2.5, and 8.1. Let's just check on the CCD chip here and see if there's any voltages getting to the CCD. -7, that's going to be one of the normal voltages for it. It should be a positive voltage and a negative voltage, I would think. That's an output. That one got 14 volts on it. 15 volts. -7. -1. When I touched this one, I got some... I didn't get a picture, but I got something on the screen flashing. Every pin's got different voltages on it, so the chip's getting power. It's got both negative and positive supplies. My 15 volt supply there, and this one is my -7 there. So both these filters are working. One's the 15 volt supply, the other is the -7. It's got power. I'm going to say it's the chip. It's the CCD that's gone bad on this one. Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and just make that diagnosis now. I'm guessing. But the best we can do on this, I don't have manuals or anything for it. But even when these were new, unless it was warranty, right? If a camera like this, these were not a real expensive camera. If it was warranty, we'd be changing the whole camera section or the PC board. Other than that, if they were like, even when this was in production, if it was past warranty, we wouldn't be fixing it. It's because they were pretty economical. Camera like this, if you had to do work on it, you're looking at $100. You know, $100 minimum when you got onto it. So if you have to start changing the boards cost the price of the camera. You couldn't just service them down to the chip because they didn't make the chips available at the time. It was board service only. You changed the entire board. So look at Mr. Oscilloscope here. We're going to probe some of the pins on the CCD. So we got timing signal there. That's a DC supply, I think. Timing signal there. Timing signal there. Right. So we got our timing signals going into the chip. So we should have video or something coming off the chip. I got timing signals going in to the CCD, so therefore we should have something coming back, and we don't. Yeah, we got a problem with this chip for sure. I'm pretty damn close to 100% certain that it's a problem with the chip. But at this point, it's a good machine as a player. It's too bad that it doesn't support analog playback. This is a digital only camera, and its appeal to someone wanting to buy a digital 8 camera for archiving is limited because, again, it only plays back the digital tapes. But I had one. It's too bad I got rid of it because I could have swapped that chip over, but I got rid of it like last year. So unfortunately, that's the way the ball bounces sometimes. You can't keep everything, right? So I'm going to throw this back together and let the fellow know, but he'll probably have seen the video by the time I get a hold of him, that this one here is pretty much a lost cause. Now, I'm not saying that a camera like this has no value to be resold. It does, because the transport's good, the heads are good. The transport's good, the heads are good. That's what I did with mine. The 240 that I had, the transport was shot and the heads were buggered up on it. As far as I know, I didn't get that far, but the transport itself was shot. There was guides missing, there was plastic pieces missing. So what I ended up doing was I ended up taking the transport off of the 250 and putting it onto the. I got a video showing it. I'm pretty sure I did a video on that, making it 240 work from a 250. Pretty sure I did a video. Positive. It's on my channel. You can look it up and see. But mine, in my case, I took the transport from the 250. So somebody could sell one of these as a parts machine with a working transport, and then someone with a little bit of camcorder experience could pull a chassis from this and put it into a 240 or any of the other ones that are the same chassis as this, because it'll work. It's the same, you know. I call this the bottom feeder, because the only thing I like about this, the only good thing I can think about this chassis is the fact that, and I did a video on this on mine as well, as I modded this cover by clipping off some of these little tabs on here so that I could pop the top off without taking the unit apart. That way when I'm transferring a tape, if I get a head clog, I can just reach in there with my finger because I have the top off and I can clean the head with my finger. So my 240 has become my favorite, it is my favorite machine for archiving now, just because it's easy to clean the heads while it's running. And I have two of them. And I have a couple of 740s as well and a 110 that are my backup. My 240 has become my main archiving machine because it'll do 8mm, high 8, and digital 8, which is makes it a very sought after unit to play tapes back on. Anyway, I'm just going to throw this one back together. I don't think we need to film this process. You guys have probably already tuned out as soon as you found out that the camera section was shot. You guys tuned out anyway, so I'm just talking to myself now as I put this together. So I'm gonna end this one as I put the final screws in and say thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one, which will be coming up shortly. I got a bunch of stuff here to work on. It's not like I don't have work to do. It's just that lately I've been doing a lot of archiving, a lot of tape archiving, and a lot of film archiving. and it's been taking up a lot of my time. And since I can make more money archiving tape and archiving film than I can fixing stuff and making YouTube videos, because right now YouTube is kind of not paying that well. Say nobody's real happy right now with what's going on YouTube, just because of the way that things have been going over the last couple months with them, with the way that they're paying their creators. So I've got the opportunity to do other work. I've been doing other work. But I'm not ending the channel or anything. If anybody's worried that I'm gonna leave you high and dry, that's not gonna happen. It's just that I have other priorities right now where I can actually make some money as opposed to working for free. And with YouTube, that's basically what it's becoming. Not quite working for free yet, but it's getting close to it. You know, one of these days they will get their act together with and stop all the ad blocking and stop all of the invalid views, and we can get back to doing what we're doing. But right now there's a bit of a lull right now with YouTube, as others have said. It's kind of a constant battle between those that will do everything possibly that they can to block ads, and they really don't give a shit that they're screwing the creators, the very creators that are counting on their ad revenue to try to carve out a reasonable living. The viewers are doing everything they can to put the screws to us, let's just say. Oops, I think that was that white screw that went in here. Anyway, that's where I'm going with this. So we'll catch you in the next one. There'll be stuff coming up tomorrow as well. Actually, this is probably tomorrow when you see this. I would edit this tonight, but my computer is busy rendering out some stuff, so we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.